Good evening, and in the news this week, Dorset Police have launched an investigation into the deaths of a woman in Weymouth and a man in Portland. Dorset Police were called at 5:40 on Thursday, the 1st of April, by the ambulance service to a report of a woman that had been found injured at an address in Ranelagh Road, Weymouth. Very sadly, the woman, aged in her 50s and from the local area, was pronounced dead at the scene. Her next of kin have been informed. The woman's death is being treated as suspicious, and an investigation is underway to establish the full circumstances surrounding her death. As part of the inquiry, at around 6:40 on the same day, police officers attended an address at Grove Road on Portland and located the body of a man aged in his 50s. The death is being treated as unexplained, and an investigation is underway. His family has also been informed. The man and the woman were known to each other. A cordon has been put in place at both addresses while officers carried out inquiries at the scene. Detective Inspector Wayne Seymour of the Major Crime Investigation Team said a detailed investigation is underway looking into the circumstances of both deaths, which are currently being treated as linked. The families of both the woman and the man are being supported by specially trained officers. I would urge anyone who witnessed or heard anything suspicious in the area of either Ranelagh Road or Grove Road during the afternoon of Thursday the 1st of April, that's this last Thursday gone, to please contact Dorset Police. Weymouth Town Council is encouraging nominations from potential candidates for 2 councillor vacancies. A by-election will take place on Thursday the 6th of May if there are 2 or more nominations for each vacancy. The vacancies are for the Preston ward and the Wike Regis ward. No specific qualifications or experience are required, and most residents can be nominated as candidates if they have a passion for local issues and want to make a difference in their community. Potential candidates can now be nominated. The closing date is 4 o'clock on Thursday the 8th of April, so that's this coming Thursday. You can find the nomination form and more information about running as a candidate on the Electoral Commission website. As you know, we have been speaking to those who have already declared their intent to stand, and we had the 3rd in the series of those interviews later in tonight's programme. And of course, if anybody else stands after Thursday, well, we will want to speak to them as well. Back to another story from Dorset Police. Officers from Dorset Police who have been investigating reports of suspicious behaviour involving a man in Dorchester are appealing for anyone with information to come forward. The activity was first reported on Monday the 15th of March that a man had been approaching female staff from Dorset County Hospital outside the hospital in the area of Bridport Road, and this was happening between the hours of around 12 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. and he was making inappropriate comments. At least 5 members of staff have now reportedly been approached. There were no reports of any threats being made or attempted physical contact. The man is described as white, aged in his 30s, and of medium build with short brown hair that is described as receding and wispy. He is reported to have been wearing jeans, a white vest, green padded gilet and Wellington boots, and on another occasion was said to be wearing a dark coloured jacket that was possibly leather. If you've got any information, please contact Dorset Police on all the usual numbers, and we'll give you those numbers later on in that headline session tonight. Dorset Council are warning potential visitors to their household recycling centres this Easter to expect long delays, and are advising you to postpone your trip to the tip if possible. Social distancing measures will remain in place at all councils' 10 household recycling centres across the county, which reduce how many people can be allowed on site at any time. Coupled with the expected increase in visitor numbers over the Easter weekend, long waits to enter each site are expected. Council officers are therefore continuing to ask people to please store their waste safely at home until the public health safety restrictions at the household recycling centres are relaxed, if you can. If you cannot, then please consider delaying your visit until after the Easter break. And most importantly, just to update you that the centres have now moved to their summer opening times of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Dorset County Museum is getting ready to open their new £16.1 million redeveloped museum. But they can't do it without a dedicated team of volunteers to support the museum staff. The new museum is bigger than ever before, and they are looking to increase the number of volunteers in the following visitor-facing roles: welcome desk, gallery stewards, visitor engagement, and library supervisor. Visitor Services Manager Gemma Hurlston said, "We have many exciting volunteering opportunities offering you a chance to join a fantastic group of people. All volunteers will have access to an extensive training package, and we are fully committed to supporting volunteer development and recognising their strengths and engaging their interests." If you would like more information about those roles and what's expected of them and an application form, just send an email in to volunteering@dorsetcountymuseum.org. That's volunteering@dorsetcountymuseum.org. This week, I'm sure you're affected by this. Across Wike Regis, most of Weymouth, parts of Dorset, and even as far away as parts of Bournemouth, we were all affected by a power loss. A main network fault meant power was lost for approximately 60,000 customers. In Dorchester, the power outage was very short. Most power in Weymouth was restored within around an hour, and everyone is thought to have been fully restored within 2 hours in total. Scottish and Southern networks advised that widespread areas had been affected, including DT3, DT4 areas, parts of DT1 and DT2, and also sporadic loss. A number of properties in BH postcode area had also been affected. Residents in Dorset noticed brief losses and subsequent returns, but properties in the Weymouth area took much longer to restore. Motorists were advised to use caution on approaching junctions since traffic lights were out. And in fact, I was on the road travelling between my home and Weymouth College at the time, and tackled those awful junctions of the old fire station junction by Asda and the Western Bridge junction with no lights working. That was fun. So much fun, I decided to come home by a much longer route and safer junctions. Again, back to Dorset Police. Dorset Police are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward after a report of suspicious activity in Wike Regis. Between 8:25am and 8:30am on Friday the 26th of March, that's a week ago, an 11-year-old girl was walking on Portland Road towards the Ford's Corner roundabout when a black or dark-coloured saloon car pulled up alongside her. It is reported that the driver told the girl that she looked cold and asked if she wanted a lift. The victim said no, but the driver started to demand that she got in the car. As the man began to open the passenger door of the car, the girl ran off towards the roundabout. The man is described as white, aged in his late 20s or early 30s, and of slim build with short brown hair and blue eyes. He was wearing a black jogging bottoms and a dark grey hooded top. Police Constable Connor Lombardo of Weymouth Police said an investigation is underway into the incident to establish the full circumstances of what happened. I fully appreciate that this may cause concern within the community, but I would like to reassure members of the public that we are carrying out a number of inquiries, including checking CCTV in the area. I'm appealing to anyone who witnessed the incident or any motorists who were travelling along Portland Road and may have captured anything of relevance on dash cams to please get in touch. And as with all our other stories involving Dorset Police tonight, to get in touch with Dorset Police, give them a call on 101, which is the non-urgent number. Or if you wish to contact them anonymously with information, you can do this through the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. Of course, if a crime is in progress or lives are at threat, then 999 is the more appropriate number to use. Although shielding for the extremely clinically vulnerable patients has ended on the 1st of April, Dorset residents can still ask for help if they need it. Residents in this category will receive a letter from the government, if they haven't already, advising them that they no longer need to shield. The letter also offers new guidance on how they can safely start to get back out and about. However, support from Dorset Council will remain in place for anyone who has been shielding and needs some extra help, as well as for anyone needing to self-isolate. Help with things like grocery shopping, travelling to vaccination appointments, or even dog walking can be requested online, at www.dorsetcouncil.gov.uk/coronavirus, or by calling the Dorset Together helpline on 01305 221 000. That's 01305 221 000. Locals and visitors alike are being asked to give seals space if they come across them on the coast. The Give Seals Space campaign, backed by the government, aims to reduce the impact of human disturbance on seals. The Seal Alliance is warning that getting too close to seals can lead to their injury and death. Seals on our coast face a whole list of threats such as pollution, entanglement, collision with vessels, plastics and other marine debris as well. The UK accounts for 38% of the world population of grey seals and 30% of the European common seal. As viewers know, we have seen an increase in level of the number of seals in the seals in the vicinity of Weymouth and Portland in recent years. So please give our seals some space and ensure their safety. For those who are into art and sculptures, one of the largest exhibitions of sculptures in the UK is currently underway at Pallington near Dorchester, and it's already proving a great success with tickets selling fast. Form, the sculptures exhibition at Sculptures by the Lakes, has impressed visitors with over 200 sculptures by 30 top sculptors. All the works are for sale and prices range from £1,000 to £300,000. So if you're going out there and you intend to buy, go with a large wallet. That's the answer there. The event has been curated by Simon Gudgeon, the owner and founder of Sculptures by the Lake. And I know from people I've spoken to, it's a lovely visit, a lovely tranquil place to go to. And if you're interested in art and sculptures, then a key time to go at the moment whilst that massive exhibition is underway. Also, whilst talking about art, and finally in our headlines tonight, Weymouth Town Council are holding an Easter photography competition for children aged between 4 and 16. The council are asking the young people to take photos of their favourite part of the town, and they will then therefore be in chance of winning a £10 gift voucher. There are two categories, ages 4 to 11 and ages 12 to 16, and the closing date is the 12th of April. Any photo entries should be emailed in to office@weymouthtowncouncil.gov.uk with the entrance name and address and the location of where the photo was taken. So two age categories, 4 to 11 and 12 to 16, photos in by the 12th of April, and email them to office@weymouthtowncouncil.gov.uk with name, address and where the photo was taken. That's our headlines done for this evening. Well, it's Easter weekend, and what do we associate with Easter? Well, lots of things, from religious things and churches, etc. But for most people, Easter is about eggs and Easter bunnies. So in our first article tonight, Janet Hall is going to explain where Easter eggs and Easter bunnies come from and how they feature in Easter.
I expect, like me, you're looking forward to tomorrow, to have a veritable feast of Easter eggs. But have you ever wondered why? Why do we have Easter eggs at Easter? Many scholars believe that Easter had its origins as an early Anglo-Saxon festival that celebrated the goddess Easter and the coming of spring, in a sense a resurrection of nature after winter. Some Christian missionaries hoped that celebrating Christian holy days at the same time as pagan ones would encourage people to convert to Christianity, especially if some of the symbols carried over. Eggs were part of the celebration of Easter, and apparently eggs were eaten at the festival and also possibly buried in the ground to encourage fertility. As an egg is a symbol of new life, for Christians, Easter eggs are used as a symbol for the resurrection of Jesus. In the past, there were many more rules about fasting in Christian churches than there are today, and eating eggs was not allowed during the week leading up to Easter, or Holy Week. So any eggs laid that week were saved and decorated to make them Holy Week eggs, and they were then given to children as gifts. Victorians adapted the tradition with satin-covered cardboard eggs filled with Easter gifts. This has now developed into the tradition that many people enjoy today. Nowadays, of course, most eggs are made from chocolate and covered in coloured foil. But often people decorate their chicken's eggs for eating at breakfast on Easter Day. I remember my mother doing this. She would dye them by boiling them in cochineal and then draw faces on them. The first chocolate eggs appeared in France and Germany in the 19th century, but they were bitter and hard. As chocolate making techniques improved, hollow eggs, like the ones we have today, were developed. They very quickly became popular and remain a favourite tradition with chocolate lovers today. Traditional Easter egg hunts remain popular with both Christian and non-Christian children. I remember Easter egg hunts in the garden when I was a child, but I don't remember any reference to the Easter bunny. I knew who hid the Easter eggs. But the Easter bunny must have been around then, because the story of the Easter bunny is thought to have become common in the 19th century, well before my time. Rabbits usually give birth to a big litter of babies called kittens, so they become a symbol of new life. Legend has it that the Easter bunny lays, decorates and hides eggs, as they are also a symbol of new life. So that's why some children enjoy Easter egg hunts and believe in the Easter bunny. But the Easter bunny doesn't do all the work alone. In Switzerland, Easter eggs are delivered by a cuckoo, and in parts of Germany by a fox. For me, the Easter bunny doesn't seem to come at all, but never mind. There's a shop round the corner where I can get an Easter egg. So I think I'll go and get one now, ready for tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you, Janet, for telling us all about where Easter eggs and the Easter bunny fit in at Easter. And if you're like me, you like a bit of chocolate, I'm sure you're looking forward to tomorrow. And hopefully you'll have those Easter eggs and the contents that you enjoy. Our second story tonight is about a story that's broken this week, that many police forces across the country have started a campaign to raise awareness of the theft of catalytic converters, as there's been a significant increase in the theft of these, which form part of the exhaust on many cars these days. It becomes very expensive for the owner of the car if they're stolen, and it's a very attractive way for people to make money easily. Maybe you didn't even know, or you don't even know, if your car has got a catalytic converter, but the chances are these days it has. So we sent our reporter Lydia out to look into the situation in Dorset.
A spate of catalytic converter thefts have taken place in Dorset, with areas around Dorchester and Wareham currently targeted. Catalytic converters are part of a car's exhaust system, and they change harmful substances in a car's exhaust gases, such as carbon monoxide, nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide, into less harmful substances like carbon dioxide and water vapor by means of chemical reactions. Precious metals like palladium, rhodium and platinum are commonly used in catalytic converters, and these have a high value that means they're worth salvaging and recycling when the car is scrapped. Unfortunately, these precious metals also make catalytic converters a target for thieves. Officers are now appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward after a number of addresses in the area were targeted. Currently, thefts have occurred in Broadmain, Piddle Hinton, Charminster and Wareham, but thieves could target cars anywhere in Dorset, including Weymouth and Portland. Whilst thefts are commonly from high-value four-wheel drive vehicles that have high ground clearance or commercial vehicles, it is fairly easy to remove from smaller domestic cars if there is a gang with 2 or 3 thieves and a carjack. This home CCTV footage supplied by Nottingham Police shows how quickly gangs can remove the catalytic converters. Police are now providing practical advice to car owners to prevent them being the victim of such thefts. Park the rear of your vehicle close to fences, walls or a curb, or keep your vehicle in a garage where possible. Alternatively, aim to park in a well-lit and well-populated area. Stephen Armson-Smith from Essex Police tells us more about the crime and offers some practical advice.
The theft of catalytic converters forms part of a larger crime that's occurring at the moment, which is the theft of metals, which is blighting everyone, either impacting on them with cables being stolen and affecting communities there, or with vehicles having the catalytic converter stolen. And not only is that stopping them using the car, but for businesses it means that that vehicle's off the road as well as the cost of the catalytic converter. The vehicles that are being targeted are those with high ground clearance. We're seeing a lot of four-wheel drives, motorhomes and commercial vans and vehicles where they can get underneath them. If the vehicle is a commercial vehicle, then if you can, wherever possible, park it within a compound. Or if you haven't got a compound that you can park it in, try and park vehicles next to those with high ground clearance that have got low ground clearance, so it makes it that much harder. For residential areas where we've been seeing an increasing number of them stolen, where possible, park your vehicle within sight of a residential property that's occupied, so it makes it that much harder for the thief to steal it unobserved. There's a number of things you can do to protect the catalytic converter. Marking is one of them. There's a company, www.retainergroup.com, that you can actually purchase a solution that you paint over a label onto the catalytic converter, and it then makes that catalytic converter identifiable property. Should that be recovered, then we're more likely to see a successful prosecution having an owner to the cat. Other things that are available are alarm systems and cages and guards that will fit over the catalytic converter.
If you've been a victim or witness any suspicious activity in the area, please report this to Dorset Police. For more crime prevention advice, visit the Dorset Police website and look for vehicle crime. Anyone with information is asked to contact Dorset Police by calling 101. Alternatively, to stay 100% anonymous, contact the independent charity Crime Stoppers at crimestoppers-uk.org or call free phone 0800 555 111.
There we go, and thank you, Lydia, for that. And the message is that these gangs are very organised, and they can be under a car, jack it up, cut off the catalytic converter, let the jack down, and be gone within 60 seconds. In fact, when I was looking at doing this article earlier this week, I saw another piece of footage where a car had its catalytic converter removed whilst the lady was unpacking her shopping next door. She didn't suspect anything. She thought people were working on the car to repair it. So if you see anything suspicious on vehicles at the side of the road being jacked up and people working on them and you're not too sure, then please do give Dorset Police a call, because you may well actually be catching somebody in the act. Moving on tonight, it's time for us to catch up with our intrepid virtual walkers, who, if you remember, last week we left them on their way back towards Weymouth and the end of their walk. So we go over to Janet and Jeff and see how they've got on and whether they've actually got back to Weymouth.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our virtual walk. Do you remember last week we arrived back at Land's End after our marathon tour of Great Britain? Now all that remains is to get us back to our own homes. So on the Monday morning, we started from Land's End and went south to the coastal path. The first stop was Marazion, and we had a visit to St Michael's Mount, which involved another steep trek up to the very top so that we could see the wonderful views around. From there we walked to the Lizard, the most southerly point on mainland England. Ali had to be further south than anybody else, and so he climbed out onto the wet, slippery rocks, and we ended up with one very wet Ali. Along the coast we travelled and took the ferry across the river, though Ali decided he'd rather swim. After eating a refreshing ice cream, we walked on to Falmouth, and most of us took the ferry across the Carrick Road, but one person wanted to water ski, and from there we walked to Truro. We were just in time for evensong, so we sat there in the peace of the cathedral, remembering how we had come here in the very early days of our walk in January. On Tuesday we left Truro very early in the morning. We passed by the pretty harbour of Mevagissey, eventually reaching Charlestown in time for lunch. The harbour is home to tall ships and used as a film set for many historical films and TV shows. Scenes from Pulled Up were made here. Ali wanted to be a pirate. After the English Riviera, we went on to Dawlish, where we turned inland and walked along the banks of the River Exe until we reached the cathedral at Exeter, and another chance to enjoy a superb evensong. On Thursday morning we left Exeter and rejoined the coast path at Exmouth. At Sidmouth, Janet's brother joined us for a walk. He left us at Seaton and we walked on to Lyme Regis with its echoes of Jane Austen. With our sights on Chesil Beach and home, we hurried on, with a short diversion at Bridport to see Rev Deb. We stayed too long and only just made it to Abbotsbury in time for a trip up to St Catherine's Chapel before dark came down. On Friday morning, with a spring in our step, we headed for home, calling in at St Ed's and ending up at All Saints at 11 o'clock. And here's Jeff Rivers' report. Ali was too exhausted to walk home, so he set him off on a zip wire. I may be back soon to tell you about some real walks that we have taken. But goodbye for now.
Thank you, Janet, and thank you, Jeff, as ever, for the graphics in those reports. And thank you for the last, I think it's 13 weeks, it may be 13 or 14 weeks, and all those interesting places that we've learnt about as you and the crowd have done their virtual walk from Land's End to John O'Groats and back via a rather longer route and eventually back to Weymouth. So thank you all very much. In our final main report this evening, I met earlier today with the third candidate standing in the local elections. As you know, in the previous weeks, I've already spoken to two of the candidates. And this week it was Becky Blake who is standing as the Labour candidate in the local elections for the Wike Regis ward on the 6th of May. Good evening, and we're here again with another of the candidates in the Wike Regis ward Town Council elections, and tonight we're joined by Becky Blake from the Labour Party. As you know, we've spoken to two other candidates so far, and Becky is the third in our series of candidates. So good evening, Becky. Thanks for coming along.
Thank you.
So a few questions for you. Why are you standing for the local elections?
Well, I'm standing, Gary, because I think I've probably always going to stand for this ward. It's kind of in my blood. My mum was Brenda Dent. She was the local Wike councillor for many years, and she was incredibly passionate about Wike. She loved it, and she's also actually the reason I believe there are genuine politicians as well. There are those that aren't just in it for egos. They really do care about people. I'd seen my mum come home and cry when she was trying to help sort somebody out. She'd go away, she'd have a cry, she'd think about how to solve the problem, get it done, and then help them. And to me, that's what sort of the community is all about, and being really there for people.
So what do you think are the priorities for the Wike Regis ward?
Well, we've got quite a few, and especially after COVID, there's going to be lots of people suffering in different ways. There's going to be financial difficulties. There's going to be people facing loss, all kinds of things. These have got to be dealt with first, and to put Wike back on track. And then obviously we've got all the usual sort of priorities, from the small things like mending benches, keeping our spaces clean, looking after our environment, taking care of our services and the vulnerable, looking after our health centre. I'm a member of the patients participation group at Wike, so you can see sort of really how our services have been affected, and how important it is to sort of keep DC accountable to make sure they're all looked after.
If we look at our town council now, what do you think our town council does well?
I think recently it's been pretty good at being more inclusive. Being able to watch the council meetings. There's more online you can get involved with. Obviously I think there is an issue with older people or people that aren't online that needs to be addressed, and it could be a case of going back to good old-fashioned surgeries and visiting to make sure you can still keep in touch. I also think they've been really productive in some areas of Weymouth, like the marsh, sorting the marsh out, getting basketball courts set up, the pump track. There has been positivity in that respect, and I think we need more of that in Wike.
Okay, and looking the other way then, what do you think our town council doesn't do so well?
Well, I think the town council's stuck because it's obviously got a very small pot of money to try and get things done with. So I do think we need to keep check on how the money is spent and what they're doing with the money. I think there's been some mistakes there. I think, the town needs to be invested in again. I think we need to look after our small businesses, because obviously we've got to create an income and a revenue, but we do that not by putting small businesses out of business, but actually creating business opportunities for them. And this involves getting the town alive again. Weymouth Town Centre is depressing, and I think we need to stop selling out to London investors and really work on our local community and make it a thriving, amazing town to come and visit again.
Okay, and I guess perhaps the most important question then, as people go to the poll in May and they've got their vote to cast, why should they vote for you?
Well, I think I'm actually giving people a unique opportunity in the respect that I am actually Wike born and bred. I'm very much invested in this community. I'm always busy in myself trying to get positive things done anyway. But this is my home as well. I mean, my children go to the school here. I run my business here. My friends and families are here. You know, Wike is very, very important to me, and I'm very passionate. And for that reason, I'm always going to be enthusiastic and diligent. And, you know, I want good things for this area.
So there you have it. That's Becky Blake, who's the third in our series of candidates for the local elections in Wike in May. If you haven't seen the interviews with the other two candidates, do go back and give them all a look. And if any other candidates come to the fore who are standing, we'll obviously be hoping to speak to them as well. And nearer the elections, we are working with some other people who are doing some hustings in the town, and hopefully we'll be streaming that as well. There we go. That was me speaking to Becky Blake earlier today, and thank you, Becky, for that, and thank you to the other candidates as well for doing those interviews with us. As I say, if there are other candidates, we will speak to them as soon as we know who they are, and we will be involved in the hustings that are being organised later in April, and we are working with the people that are organising that to help with the live streaming of that as well. So now to that exciting part of the programme where we look at the weather for the weekend and the week ahead. And first of all, we've got the national forecast from the Met Office.
Hello, we have a dry and mild day for much of the UK today. Plenty of sunshine on offer, but always that bit cloudier out towards the east. We will see the cloud in the southeast start to clear away, bringing clear skies across much of the UK. With light winds, we could see a little bit of mist and fog forming as well. And under those clear skies, temperatures dropping away, leading to a widespread frost for many parts by first thing on Easter Day morning. So it's a dry, bright but chilly start on Easter Day, and as we go through the day, plenty of sunshine offer, particularly for central and eastern parts. A much better day here than we've had on recent days, but cloud and rain will start edging into parts of Scotland through the second half of the day with stronger winds here, and that is when we'll see things change. So much colder and windier as we go into Easter Monday, with wintry showers spreading south for many of us.
So there we go, that's the national forecast from the Met Office. So as we've heard there, Sunday will be quite a nice day, but as we go into Monday, although it'll be sunny, the temperature is going to drop rapidly. It could get as low as freezing, and there will be some wintry showers moving down from the north. Now, whether they get as far as us, we'll have to wait and see. From Tuesday onwards, it will be generally sunny intervals and a light to moderate breeze, with daytime temperatures no higher than 9 degrees, but also dropping perhaps as low as 4 or 5, and with no significant possibility of rain until next weekend. So there we go, that's the weather for the week ahead. It'd be nice if it was a little bit warmer like we've had the last few days, but we'll just have to wait and see. In fact, here we go, here's our little weather widget there we can put up with this week's weather for you. Moving on then to traffic and travel. Most of the roadworks we've mentioned the last few weeks are still tinkering on. Certainly those Wessex Water ones in Parkmead Road in Wike Regis and Overlands Road and Mandeville. The ones in Parkmead do occasionally cause a bit of a hold up as they're working in the road, being a bit busy road. But there's some new roadworks again for Wessex Water on the Preston Road, Sutton Road and Church Road. So that's the Preston Road as you come into Weymouth, and that is going to be going on for a couple of weeks. And there will be temporary traffic lights there on the 3 roads for up to the 2 weeks. So there is going to be some delays if you're coming from the east into Weymouth through Owermoyne and through Sutton Point, and into the back end of Preston that way into Weymouth. So do be aware of that. On the trains, there are bus replacement services from Westbury this weekend and throughout the week. And there is a reduced service to Southampton Central this weekend. On the What's On, we mentioned very much in the last few weeks about the Noath Fort being reopened. I was speaking to the Noath Fort in the week, and they've asked me very much if I can continue to tell you that they will be opening on the 12th of April, and they will be having Easter activities from the 12th to the 18th of April, and the cafe and the museum shop will be open. There'll be an Easter egg hunt for the family, and including a unique golden egg, and counting the elusive Easter bunnies as well. The indoor area planned to be open as long as the government route map works from the 17th of May. Again, Weymouth Sea Life Centre is open from the 12th of April. The outside areas, things like the Pirate Golf, the Humboldt Penguins, the Seals, the Otters, and the interactive rock pool. And as we've previously stated, Weymouth Pavilion also have announced that they will start their series of events from Friday the 21st of May. Also new this week, Dorset Art Weeks has announced that it will be this year from the 22nd of May to the 6th of June. That's Dorset Art Week. And we will give you more information on those and other things as we get more details and we get closer to those dates. We now come to our film release section for this week, and this is absolutely hot off the press and released not more than about 90 minutes before the programme started today. Warner Brothers have announced this afternoon a new film, Space Jam: A New Legacy, which will be in cinemas from July, and I thought you'd like to get this hot off the press as we are on the distribution for Warner Brothers now. NBA champion and global icon LeBron James goes on an epic adventure alongside timeless tune Bugs Bunny with the animated live-action event Space Jam: A New Legacy. From director Malcolm D. Lee and an innovative filmmaking team including Ryan Coogler and Maverick Carter. This transformational journey is a manic mashup of two worlds that reveals just how far some parents will go to connect with their kids. When LeBron and his young son Dom are trapped in a digital space by a rogue AI, I think that's what's an AI? I can't remember what that stands for, but it's one of those automatic thingy-wotsits. LeBron must get them home safe by leading Bugs, Lola Bunny, and the whole gang of notoriously undisciplined Looney Tunes to victory over the AIs. Digitised champions on the court, a powered-up rooster of professional basketball stars as you've never seen them before. It's Tunes versus Goons in the highest stakes challenge of his life that will redefine LeBron's bond with his son and shine a light on the power of being yourself. The ready-for-action Tunes destroy convention, supercharge their unique talents, and surprise even King James by playing the game their own way. James stars alongside a host of stars and tunes, too many to mention here, and it is definitely a star-studded and a tune-studded cast. Warner Brothers Pictures presents a Proximity, the Spring Hill Company production, and a Malcolm D film, Space Jam: A New Legacy. The film will be distributed worldwide by Warner Brothers Pictures, and it will be released to theatres nationwide in the UK on July the 16th. And here you are, hot off the press before anybody else has seen it. The trailer for Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Basketball camp is next weekend. You got amazing potential on the court, and I can help you get there.
That's not what I want, Dad. You never let me do what I want to do. You never let me just do me.
Hold up, wrong floor. Bet Will Smith ain't got to deal with this.
Dad!
Down! What in the Matrix hell?
Welcome to the space.
Welcome, King James. I am the king of this domain. This is the serververse.
What'd you do to my son? Where's Dom?
The only way you're getting your son back is if you and I play a little basketball. Pete, send this clown to the rejects.
Wait. What is this? Ah! I'm a cartoon?
What's up, Doc?
Come on and ride, baby, ride.
I need to assemble an elite team to help get my son back.
I know what you're looking for. A dream team. Ma'am, shoot the ball. Let's try that again, shall we?
King James.
Welcome to the Space Jam. Introducing the Goon Squad.
You gotta win this game.
Let's end this.
Got you, Kron. And get our son back.
Yikes. Classic.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
I'm going old school on his butt.
Whoa.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
There we go. Space Jam: A New Legacy. Seen first here on Wike Regis TV, ahead of all the national channels, only released at about 4:30 this afternoon from Warner Brothers. So there we go. You've seen it here first. And we'll keep you posted on other movie releases as they come up. Of course, the AI, which I couldn't get my head around what AI was, is artificial intelligence. There we go. Something I'm lacking today. Okay, so just a reminder of what's coming up. Don't forget, tonight we have our quiz at 7:30, which will be most welcome to join. On Friday nights at 7, we have a Year in Gardening with Clive Gray, our now weekly gardening programme, looking at what's going on in the garden with projects, planting, and another P, and I can't remember the other P is, but there we go. It's a great gardening programme, very, very basic, and there that you can all follow what you should be doing at this time of year. Of course, if you want to join the people in All Saints Church tomorrow, the church is now open again, and the main service is at 9:30, and that will also be live streamed, and St Edmund's Church at 11 o'clock. And so, don't forget to join us here next week at 6. But in the meantime, if you want local news and local information, do remember our other local news outlets of Keep 106 Radio, Air 107.2 Radio, and Chesil Radio, all here as community services trying to support you in your community and give you up-to-date news. So until this time next week, well, a bit earlier next week at 6 o'clock, I'll bid you good night and maybe see some of you on the quiz at 7:30. Good night and thank you for joining me.